I've seen individual variation, but this is basically the pattern that we see over and over again. When we look at the classic triadic relationship, we see over-emotionally involved mother, dominant, strong personality. Father is quiet, withdrawn, non-expressive, and or hostile. Son is temperamentally shy, timid, introverted, artistic, imaginative. That's basically it. And there are some variations, but basically it. When we look more closely at the classic triadic relationship, we see between mother and father, poor communication. Between mother and son, a special relationship. Special understanding. My men will tell me, oh, I have a special relationship with my mother. We understand each other. We're soulmates. We go out to brunch. We talk for 5 hours. We understand each other so well. Father-son relationship is guarded, ill at ease, and or antagonistic. The poor relationship, the poor communication between mother and father was especially during the gender identity phase. Maybe later in life, their communication, their marriage has gotten better. Quite frankly, the wife has gotten used to her husband's style of communication. But basically, at that time, there was poor communication. And there was more of a reliance where the mother pulled the son close to her, and the boy was not able to make that transition. If there is an older brother, it's a feared, hostile relationship. Sigmund Freud, 100 years ago said, if a homosexual has an older brother, it's a feared, hostile relationship. And I can tell you, I have never met a man struggling with homosexuality who remembers his older brother as someone strong and supportive and encouraging. Even though we put the emphasis on the father, let's consider the mother's role. As wife to husband, how does she reflect dad? Does she reflect dad as someone important? Dad as having an important role in the family? How does she reflect masculinity to her son? Does she reflect and seem to enjoy and praise his masculine efforts? Or does she treat him like a neuter? The physical relationship of father-son relationship is very, very important. That's how the connection happens. And many of the men I talk to, it's that physicality that they want. It's not so much sex, it's that physical bonding. My father never touched me. My father never hugged me. Many of the homosexual enactment is really about that closeness that would be very, very normal and appropriate for a little boy with an older man. When we look at the physical relationship of father-son relationship, we really see that women babysit children, boys, differently than men. If you ask a woman to babysit a boy, she'll watch him, make sure he doesn't get hurt. When the man is asked to babysit a boy, he plays with the boy. There's that physicality. Now, we've all seen the fathers tossing their son up in the air. You've seen this, you know, throwing the kid up in the air, and the kid, of course, is petrified, you know, but the father is laughing. So then the boy starts laughing because the father is laughing. Of course, he's petrified. And the mother is watching this because she has no idea about this whole ritual that's happening. And it's very interesting because now the boy laughs in danger, and a very important lesson has been conveyed between men, that danger is fun. Very important. And the father's tossing him up in the air and catching him. And even if you drop the kid and do some brain damage, at least he'll be heterosexual. It's a small price to pay. That's why they say straight men are a little dense. You know, it's true. We don't see colors as brightly, I guess. I don't know. Anyway. But the second lesson is to trust. Trust men. I will be caught. My father will catch me. Men with a homosexual issue do not trust men. They anticipate betrayal. The essence of homosexuality is, if I get this guy to see me, he's going to betray me. He's going to shame me. He's going to make me feel bad about me. Homosexuality is not about sex. It's about shame. Not shame that he's homosexual. The shame preceded the homosexual condition. The anticipation of shame blocks him from making that male connection. And so through fantasy, he hopes to make that connection through gay sex. Continuing in the relationship with the father, father as mystery. I never understood my father. This is a repeated theme. I never knew much about my father. I didn't know what he was feeling. I didn't know anything about what was going on inside of him. My father never talked about his father. I don't even know about my grandfather. My mother, opposite. I could read her like a book. If I ever wanted to manipulate her or get something out of her, I knew exactly how to do it. Very interesting observation. Fathers of the men who have homosexual problems did not know their fathers very well, were not very close to their fathers. They did not get that narcissistic injury that would create the homosexual condition, but they did not know their fathers very well. And so when the boy detaches, these men do not know how to go after him and pull him in. They allow the son to remain defensively detached. And that's the problem. And that's what I talk about later in preventing homosexuality. Developmentally, we're going up to the ages of 5 to 12 years old. That's the latency period. During the latency period, we see that this defensive detachment is carried on to peer relationships. He does not connect with boys. He feels ill at ease. We talk about the kitchen window boy. We visualize the boy looking out the kitchen window, watching these other boys play. That's physicality, football or soccer or that physical. And he wants to be a part of that. There's something exciting about that male energy. There's something about that level of physical contact that he wants to connect with, but he holds himself back. He doesn't feel prepared. He feels weak. He feels not ready for that. He feels more comfortable with his mother, with his sisters, with his grandmother. And so when sexuality kicks in, guess where it's going to go? You know, it's not going to go to the ordinary, the common. It's going to go to the mysterious. So that sexual energy will go in the direction of the mysterious, not to the familiar. For the pre-homosexual boy, men are mysterious. For the pre-heterosexual boy, females are mysterious. At this time, we're seeing cross-gender behavior, the sissy boy syndrome, as Richard Green from UCLA refers to it, or gender nonconformity. That's basically the issue I talk about later on in prevention. And there is a high predictability of adult homosexuality, bisexuality, or transgenderism associated with the effeminate boy or the truly not masculine boy. 75% correlation, which is pretty high in psychology, which is the social sciences. By the way, that 75% correlation between gender nonconformity and adult homosexuality, bisexuality, or transgenderism is a number that came out of a meta-analysis. It's not just one study. A meta-analysis is a study of all studies. That was done by Zucker. The boy is characterized, this pre-homosexual boy is characterized by the false self, what we call the good little boy. All my clients were good little boys. That's why they want to be now bad little boys. The good little boy was very polite and very obedient and very sensitive to other people and very concerned about how mommy felt and very caring and did everything right, was very responsible. It's like a straitjacket that has been put on him, that he wears himself. I remember one of my men saying, you know, my mother would comb my hair every morning and make a perfect part and then spray my hair. And I went to school, all the kids would say, oh, this is the kid with the plastic hair, you know. They leave in the morning with a white shirt. They come back at 3 o'clock with a white shirt. They do not get dirty. At the same time, they envy those other boys who are able to get, you know, rough and tumble and get dirty. But they don't know how to break out of that. It's interesting that in adulthood, the gay man desires to break that good little boy mold. And so he feels an anger and wants to rebel. And so much of the gay identity is transgressive, is shocking, is offensive, is provocative. Because he was not allowed to be a bad boy. Now he's being a bad boy. The good little boy is also very much, and we see studies, very much into theater and acting. Theater and acting seems to be one of the characteristic. Interest in pretense, pretend, make-believe, fantasy. It's a way of avoiding this conflict. The world is expecting me to be masculine, but I can't find it within me to be masculine. He escapes into fantasy.